Let us try to understand the relationship between force and motion. In Standard 9, you have studied about the Newton's laws of motion, the three laws. The first law was the law of inertia, that is, every body continues to be in its state of rest or of uniform motion until it is acted upon by external unbalanced force. Newton's second law was the conservation of law of momentum, and after the derivation we got the formula that force is equal to mass into acceleration. The third law was to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So these are the three laws of motion that were given by Sir Isaac Newton. He also gave us the equations of motion. And this year we are going to study about the theory of gravity that was studied by Newton. It was he who observed first about the presence of gravity and gravitational force that is exerted by the earth on every object near it or even far away from it. And this gravitational force is on account of the mass of the earth. That is also what he told. And this mass of the earth is centered towards the center of the earth, or it is concentrated towards the center of the earth. All these three things, that is laws of motion, equations of motion, and theory of gravity, have been given in his book, which is called as Principia. So if we come to know that if we want any object to be in motion, or if we want to stop an object, we require some external force. So force is necessary to change the speed as well as the direction of motion of an object. So that is what is the relationship between force and motion. And we are going to study one type of force which is called as the centripetal force. So let us study what is centripetal force. Circular motion and centripetal force. Circular motion refers to the movement of an object while it is rotating in a circular path. So here there is a circular path which has been shown, and the object is revolving in a circular path and performing circular motion. Circular motion can be uniform or it can be non-uniform also. If it is uniform circular motion, then the rate of rotation and speed will be constant. Whereas if the circular motion is non-uniform, then the rate of rotation and speed will keep changing. Some of the most common examples of uniform circular motion are, for example, the moon revolves around the earth in uniform speed. The earth revolves around the sun. We know that it takes 365 days for the earth to complete one revolution around the sun. Similarly, the moon will take 27 days, 7 hours and 43 minutes to complete one full orbit around the earth. So these are some examples of circular motion or uniform circular motion. Similarly, the rotation of a ceiling fan, a moving car's wheels, the blades in a windmill, and the gears in gas turbines, all are examples of circular motion. Let us now try to understand what is centripetal force. For this, let us do an experiment. We take a stone and tie a string to it. Now take the other end of the string in your hand and rotate the string so that the stone moves along a circle. So here this girl you can see, and she is holding the end of the string and the stone is tied here and she is rotating it in circular motion. So this is what you are going to do. Now, as long as we are holding the string, we are pulling the stone towards us, that is towards the center of the circle, and are applying force towards it. So if you try out this experiment, you will find that as you are holding the string and you are rotating it, you are actually pulling the stone towards yourself, that is towards the center. This is the direction which has been shown. So the stone is constantly being pulled towards the center of the circle, and you are applying force in that direction. Now, suppose you suddenly release the string. What will happen if you suddenly release the string? So the force will stop acting. And since the force will stop acting, it will so happen that the stone will fly off along a straight line, which is a tangent to the circle at the position of the stone when the string is released, because that is the direction of its velocity at that instant of time. Now here we have been shown the stone is constantly moving in a circular path. Suddenly you release the string. So as soon as you release the string, the stone moves away in this direction, that is going to be a tangent to the circle. And if you release it at this instant, this will be the direction of the stone. If you release it at this instant, this will be the direction. Everywhere it will be a tangent. So why will it be a tangent? Because when you are releasing the string, that is the direction of velocity of the stone at that particular time. So I hope you have understood this, that suddenly if you release the string, the force that was acting towards the center, which was exerted by you, suddenly stops. And in this case, the stone will fly off in a straight line. That will be a tangent to the circle at the position of the stone when the string is released. So if the string is released at this point, this will be the direction in which the stone will fly off. If you are releasing the string at this position, this will be the direction of the stone, because that is the direction of the velocity at that instant of time. So what we learn from this activity is that there is a force that is acting on the object that is moving along a circle, and it is directed towards the center of the circle. This is called as centripetal force. So any object that is going to move in circular path is going to be acted upon a force that is directed towards the center, and this force is called as the centripetal force. Centripetal means center seeking. That is, the object tries to go towards the center of the circle because of this force. Now, this stone will also try to go towards the center of the circle, but it doesn't happen just because it is moving in circular path. So long as it is going to move in the circular path, it will not fall down, though the force is constantly acting on it. Let us try to understand this with the help of our solar system. We have Sun as at the center, and the planets are revolving in their respective orbits. The Sun is extremely massive. It has got huge mass and a very, very strong gravitational force. So due to this gravitational force of the Sun, all these planets are capable of revolving in their respective orbits since so many years. Now, all these planets are revolving in circular orbits. Since they are all revolving in circular orbits, they do not fall down. Now, if the Sun is pulling all the planets towards it, then it should happen that these planets should fall down and eventually they would all burn away. But this does not happen just because each planet is moving constantly with uniform velocity in their respective orbits. Similarly, if there wouldn't have been this pull that is directed towards the center, then these planets would have moved away in the tangential directions. So both the things are important. The motion of each planet in the respective orbit so that they do not fall down. And secondly, the centripetal force that is being exerted by the sun on the planets, which is directed towards the center, and that is preventing the planets from moving away in a tangential direction. So this is what is centripetal force. So here we have studied about gravitation and gravitational force. The gravitational force of the earth that acts on any object near it as well as very far away from it, like the moon. The gravitational force due to earth also acts on the moon, because of which it revolves around the earth. Similar situation even exists for artificial satellites that are orbiting the earth. So the moon and the artificial satellites all orbit the earth in their respective orbits, and none of them fall down just because they all are revolving and there is a constant force that is being exerted by the earth on them. So objects revolving in circular path around the earth or the sun do not fall down on them because they all are moving and they all have velocity, and due to centripetal force they do not fly away in a straight direction, that is the tangential direction. So we will end our session today here itself, and we will begin with Kepler's laws in the next class. Thank you.